Hi everyone, good morning. We have some fantastic news. Okay, so we have some fantastic news coming from home, from Africa this morning. So it's not all doom and gloom as they continue to project on us. So I'm so happy, I'm so excited this morning, and I want to, I want to spread the good news about home, about Africa, that we cannot, we cannot be what whoever says we are. We are going to command our own future. Now, this is the latest. The latest is that one, Senegal in Senegal has become, the first country in the world, to develop a £1 test kit. In fact, this is a test kit that is portable, easy to use. You either drop your spit or saliva or your blood, and within a space of hours, the result is read and is accurate. Now, this is Senegal in Africa, and Senegal also has developed a 60-pound 3D printed ventilators to fight the deadly coronavirus. This is fantastic. This is despite the country's low budget for health. Senegal also has recorded the highest recovery rates in Africa, and so far the third in the world. This is fantastic. Remember when Melinda Gates and so-called experts and so on from the West continue to say that they were seeing dead bodies all over, all over the streets of Africa, and we were all screaming. And said, what a doom and gloom, thing somebody can say. Are you God? So we are here to tell our Africans, our people, see, we cannot continue to rely on what people say about us. We cannot continue to. The only way to shut up your hater or whoever is by by succeeding, by doing. It's not by asking people to respect you, it's by doing what you need to do. And Africa, I am so proud of the countries in Africa stepping up to prove themselves, not even to the world or to anybody, but to prove themselves. And I call on every African, I call on Africans to please, the citizens of Africa, to step up and make sure that this doom and gloom that were being projected and predicted for Africa will not come to pass. You have to shame these people who call themselves experts in Africa and labeling Africa of whatever they wish to label Africa. The work is in our hands. Our own future is in our hand. We need to change the narrative. So I'm so excited with what Senegal is doing at the moment. Again, Senegal has developed a £1 test kit and 3D printed ventilators to fight the deadly coronavirus. And this is despite their low budget on health. And so far, Senegal has recorded the highest recovery rate in Africa, and so far the third recovery rate in the whole world. The country, you remember, had experienced an outbreak of Ebola, and they had a surging rate of HIV. So with those experiences, they've been able to manage this coronavirus. Now let's move quickly to Madagascar. Also Madagascar, this is also a very fantastic news, which we all need to continue to spread this news, because already I'm seeing Western journalists and Western media questioning and being condescending on this news. Madagascar has produced a remedy, a remedy against this coronavirus, purely made from plants. This local made in their country. Their president is promoting it. Their president is out and telling people this is it. This is it. This is not a vaccine. This is a medicine, a cure. They are using in managing coronavirus cases. And Madagascar stands in line with one of the least affected countries in the world. Therefore, it is your role and my role to get this news spreading. We cannot be relying on Western news to tell us what is happening in our own country, or to approve, or to. One said is not yet proven. President of Madagascar is promoting a substance that's not yet proven. Who is going to prove it if not the president of the country? If the president of a country has endorsed and certified a product as effective, who is the journalist, who is the Western world to tell you what is or what is not? So he has, the president of Madagascar has said and is promoting both on his and in the country's website that this is the cure. They have found a cure that can eradicate coronavirus, COVID-19. This substance works by strengthening the immune system. So check it out. Madagascar is on course to eradicating coronavirus, in their country. Now let's get to Ghana. Ghana again is leading in the world. Is one of the leading countries in the world against coronavirus. What is Ghana doing? Last year, the vice president of Ghana, Bawumia, sorry if I didn't get the name correct, but you got the gist. He says last year or 2 years ago, last year, the vice president launched a medical technology with a zipline medical drones services in the country to deliver essential medical services to remote areas. And they are using the drones. Ghana is using drones to deliver samples from the rural area to their center, to the city, to Kumasi and Accra, where these tests are being done. And Ghana is the first country in the world doing this. Not even the UK, not even the US, not any other place. Ghana is the first to do this. And they are fighting this coronavirus very efficiently. So Ghana also, have tested 68,000. They've carried out 68,000 tests, since the outbreak of this pandemic. And they have only 1,042 cases in Ghana. 1,042 cases only in Ghana, and so far only 9 deaths. Remember, it is said there are dead bodies all over the street of Africa. Now, I'm so happy, I'm so excited, and I hope that every African everywhere, it gets into this and begin to share the good news. We need to shut up the critics. We need to shut up the haters. We need to shut up all these doom and gloom predictions on our homeland. Africa is leading in the fight against this coronavirus. We cannot take any other thing. While Nigeria and President Buhari are sleeping, let us focus on the countries that are stepping up, the countries that are doing, that are ready to change the narrative. Now, Ghana has recorded just only 9 deaths, only 1,042 cases, and 99 recoveries. So, Ghana's handling of this pandemic has been one of the most impressive in the world. And so far, Ghana has begun to relax their lockdown, and they're getting back to business. Of course, they have to get back to business because they are doing what they need to do efficiently. Only 9 deaths. Only 9 deaths. This is a country in the continent of Africa where they said there are dead bodies all over the place. They were projecting and predicting 10 million deaths from coronavirus. That is not going to happen because Africans are beginning to step up and say and take up their own future, their own destiny in their own hand. We don't need the Western world. We don't need the Western media to endorse anything. Once we have working president, efficient leader, any efficient leader who is doing well, we need to all be behind him and begin to laud the work they are doing. Africa is leading in the management of this pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic. And this is what we need to be sharing and talking about. We need to begin to reclaim our own image, the image of the strong Africans we are, we should stop listening to doom and gloom on our own continent. So far, also in Kenya, remember also so-called experts projected that by end of April that Kenya will have recorded 10,000 cases. But however, as at yesterday, according to the president Uhuru Kenyatta, they have only 343 confirmed cases. They are supposed to be by now managing up to 10,000 cases. But I'm telling you, according to the president, as at yesterday, only 343 confirmed cases in the country. Also, when they do all these projections, is for them to move in and do what they usually do in Africa. The British scientists were, discussing as the same way the French so-called doctors were discussing moving into do their vaccine trials on humans in the Congo. The same way the British scientists and so on were discussing. But now I'm so proud that the president of Kenya stood up and said that cannot happen. My citizens are not guinea pigs. That will not happen. So, we need to support these leaders who are stepping up and speaking out for their own citizens and doing the right thing. This is the news we need to be sharing. So feel free to share this news. I'm so proud of the leaders of the countries in Africa that are stepping up and putting our critics to shame, and putting all these so-called doom and gloom experts on Africa, putting them to shame. And at the same time, I'm challenging our scientists. I'm challenging our doctors. I'm challenging every citizen of Africa. Whatever you do, let us use this opportunity. This coronavirus has shown us that we can do it. We can be the best. This is no longer time to wait for the West. We need to begin to take pride in what we produce, because we can. We can. If it's close that you do, be proud in it. Put your head up, do the best you can, believe in yourself, keep doing it. Keep doing it. Even if you're not making profit now, even if you're not making money now, keep doing it. That is how every other country rose up. That was how China did it, from doing the little and the small ones they do. I remember when, if you want to buy the inferior thing, you say it's China made. But today, China is leading in fact, manufacturing of almost every single thing. Now, in your small factory, you don't have to have the biggest factory. In your small studio room, in your house, produce whatever you can. Produce, be honest and with integrity, produce whatever you can. Let us begin to produce what we consume. This is the only way Africa is going to rise. This is the only way Africa is going to rise. If you are in the media, if you are starting your own media, keep on it. Keep projecting the positive image of Africa. Keep spreading the news of what is being done in Africa. This image of poverty, sickness, doom, gloom on Africa, it is our responsibility to quash it. Use your platform to change the narrative. Use your platform to educate our people. Use the platform to strengthen the confidence in Africa. Use your platform to spread the news of believe in Africa. In fact, I'm starting a movement with the hashtag believe in African. African made, believe in African, or believe in African made, or #believe in Africa. Anytime you tweet any good news from Africa, use #believe in African. Let us begin to believe in our own. Let us begin to believe in what we can do, what we can bring to the table. Africa is not. We are not beggars. We are no longer in to be begging for arms and begging for aids and all those kind of things. Now we can produce, we can export, we can help other people. This is the Africa I dreamt of. This is the Africa I want to be part of. This is the Africa that I want to, see, hear about. So let us, keep your head up, spread this video, share it to whoever, wherever, and any platform, wherever you can share it. Keep sharing this video. Tell people that, see, Africa is stepping up, and we are not going to succumb to the doom and gloom predictions that Melinda Gates and co are projecting on us. That's not going to happen. They should focus their mind where, tens of thousands of people are dying in their Western world here. So, my people, we have lots and lots of plants. I'm challenging our doctors and our scientists, microbiologists, virologists in Africa. I'm challenging you all. This is the moment. You don't have to wait for the government. We no longer have to wait for the looting government and leaders. Let us begin to do the little you can. Start researching the plants that we have. We have plants, and we should stop calling it alternative. We should stop calling our production alternative. It's not alternative. That's the real deal. What we produce should be number one, not alternative. We are not talking of alternative here. Whatever you produce, let's begin to test it. We have our NAFDAC to check it and prove it if it's effective or not. And we have the capacity to test if these are effective and efficient. Therefore, I'm calling on you all again, and I'm so happy, I'm excited. Madagascar, Ghana, Kenya, and all of that, all the African countries doing it. I'm my thumbs up for you, and I'm challenging other African countries, other African citizens everywhere to begin to do the same. We can do it. We can do it. Let's talk positive. Let's be positive and focused on what we want to achieve. So this is a brief video because I'm so excited this morning to hear this news, because it's been a long time that everything we do has to come from the West or China and all that. But this time around, I'm so happy to see that countries in Africa, at least 1 or 2 or 3 countries in Africa, are stepping up to take responsibility. This is the Africa we want. So I'm challenging the so-called giant of Africa, Nigeria. Let us not be looking at the lifeless president that we have, President Buhari, who cannot even come to speak to his own citizens. We can no longer rely on that leadership. We have to rely on what we can do. Let us start producing. Thank you so much. Thank you. And I'll be bringing you more news as I get it. This is me, Faustina Anyang. Thank you.